Hello, my name is Kane Munro, and today I'm talking about business and life advice in song lyrics. So just what are today's lyrics? Now, as an accountant, the 30th of June represents the end of the financial year. Now, 30th of June is not exactly a big day of celebration for those outside the finance world, but for those in the finance world, it is a really big deal. It's when the financial year closes, profits or losses are booked, and a new financial year begins. It dawns as a whole new day. It's also an excuse to have a few drinks and maybe a party. Now, I remember when I first started as an accounting graduate back in 2000, I was due to start work in my first job as a 21-year-old co-op student, which is basically a student working a sandwich year of employment between years 3 and 4. Now, I was due to start on Monday the 3rd of July. However, as the annual 30 June party was on the Friday before that, the partners decided to invite the new starters along to that particular party. Now, this was held at Peter Janson's house in Highlander Lane, and Mr. Janson was either a client or a friend of one of the partners from memory. And Mr. Janson's house it's an insane six-storey Rutherglen House, decorated with Persian rugs, antiques, bric-a-brac, and there was even a large taxidermy collection there from memory and things on the wall. I think his own coffin may have been there as well. So cocktails and canapes and chit-chat in that sort of environment, as well as a rah-rah speech by the managing partner at the time, in this setting was, well, to me, I'd never been to a party like this. Never. I hadn't. And from there it was on to the after party, which was at De Beers Bar and Club in Flinders Lane, which is basically a partner putting their card on the bar and staff having a crack at whatever they could drink until the card was switched off or sort of taken away off the bar. I have a very clear recollection of a partner. I'd even started there handing me 2 bourbon and cokes and asking my name. And telling me there's one for each hand. Again, as a 21-year-old who was starting on $26,000 a year, which to me was huge. I was a part-time soccer player and referee before that, so to me it was awesome. But 21-year-old me, well, free drinks didn't happen, and a party like this, it was amazing. So that's my first 30 June party, and over the next 15 or so years, the annual 30 June party, and the Christmas party, and the annual ball, they were pretty much a green light for me to try and drink my own body weight in alcohol. And frankly, a lot of the time, that was something I kind of looked forward to each year. Now, I loved it though. I loved it mainly because I loved the people that I worked with. And having a drink and chatting to them, it was one of my favourite things to do. And it's the same reason that I loved a lot of my time employed as an accountant. It was the people. But it did include the various 30 June parties, the Christmas parties, the annual balls, the long lunches, and I guess all the perks that went along with these things. They all were also made for some unbelievable stories. But it was friendship, really. That's what I really enjoyed. That all said and done, 30 June this year and the last few have looked very, very different for me. Last night was 30 June, and I was at home having a couple of different alcohol-free beers and an alcohol-free gin with some juice. And also one with some tonic. Now, hot tip, while the alcohol-free wines are average at best, there's some excellent alcohol-free beers and spirits out there. So it was alcohol-free drinks and playing some old-school video games, which for me were NBA Jam and Mario Kart last night. Super Nintendo version, of course. And I was in bed by 9:30 p.m. Back 20 years ago, I possibly would not have even known where I was at 9:30 p.m. Cuckoo. It's maybe not worse or better, it's just different. Now that's all this week. I'll be back next week with another lyric with some advice in it. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and if you did celebrate 30 June last night, I hope you're not too dusty today. Today's song's here. Not suitable for work. Enjoy.